Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Now, every Tuesday, we are joined by Basil Chapman. Basil Chapman is the author of the Opening Call newsletter. Strongly recommend checking this out. It is very thorough. I think even today, he was looking at some certain stocks that I had been looking at for a while as well. And it's always interesting just to kind of get other people's opinion, especially when they've been in the game this long. It is fantastic. Additionally, he does I believe an hour long, he can correct me if I'm incorrect, an hour-long video every Friday or Saturday. And again, that value added is massive. So I strongly recommend checking this out. Additionally, he has subscriber-only webinars. The last one he did was November 14th. And that was about sector rotations, sector and stocks for the next market phase. Strongly recommend checking that out. If you haven't already, you can do so risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee on all of our newsletters. So you can try to check this out. For whatever reason it doesn't work for you, you can get your money back, but we're betting that it will. Basil, how are you doing?
Sounding terrible, but I'm actually doing quite well. Thank you.
Fantastic. I am sorry to hear that, Basil, but thank you for coming on nonetheless.
Pleasure. So I'm looking at the Dow, as always. We always do the Dow. And it's very interesting.
Basil,
people say to me, well, why do you use the Dow and you don't use the other? I use all the indices, but for, decades, every day I've made a call on the Dow, so I'm just kind of familiar with it. But look, in fact, why don't I do this right now?
Basil, we're not seeing your charts right now if you're sharing them.
Oh, no. Really? I thought I had done that. All right, give me 1 second.
No problem.
I'll be right there. I thought I was all set. Let me do it. It takes me 1 moment. No, I thought... I didn't see it. Okay, here we go.
A lot of moving parts. I know. I do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. There you are. Okay.
Perfect deal.
Got my charts, right?
Yep, fantastic.
So I just expanded. These 3 white charts right here, this little rectangle, I do every day. I send out to my subscribers. I discuss exactly what we're looking at based on the Dow Daily. This is the Dow Daily as well in the middle. And there's a 120-minute chart on the right. And you can see here, there's this beautiful cup formation. We added to our long positions in the Dow right at the low at 41,844. Kind of small aggressive position, taking a little bit off. And then on Friday, I thought, this is again to go to the leg D in the Chapman Wave methodology. And of course, I've lost it, but it's right here. In the Chapman, we're always looking for identify the lowest low bar and count the peaks as they rise. Uppercase letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G on the way up, lowercase on the way down. But it's if you surpass A and you go to leg B and you get an upgrade in the technicals from a buy signal to a buy mode, it says you should go to at least a peak D and then other things can happen. Well, where did we go? We were in leg D on Thursday, and I anticipated on Friday that we could get some kind of a setback because of the 45,073 high on December the 4th. And what happened is we did get that. I wasn't able to do Friday's show. I was out of town. But we had that reversal. It was doing so nicely. And then there was the discussion about tariffs. So what happened is Friday was a very ugly candle. And then over the weekend, there was all this talk. And there wasn't a single news channel that didn't talk about tariffs and how you're going to pay, 300%, whatever it was, more for whatever. But I said, this is the 9 period. My technicals were so strong, I couldn't do anything else but to say, I will take a little insurance on Monday for subscribers, but we want to stay in our long positions. So I have to look at this as if you finally got to that peak D. But was this an interruption of a move that was continuing to the upside? Well, so far the technicals suggest yes. That's number one. Secondly, people say, why the Dow? Well, look, the charts. Look, this is the Dow, this is the S&P, this is the NDX 100, this is the SMHs, and this is the IWM, the small caps. Which is the strongest chart right here? This is the weekly chart. Look at those green candles. That's the Dow. So this is, you identified this correctly when you said earlier on, this is becoming very selective. So as selectivity continues, I said to subscribers, we are in lovely positions. We're in the AI. We're in the broker dealer sector with Robinhood. We're in just at this point areas that are holding very well. And so one of the sectors that we're in is, if I go to gold, you'll see that gold has had an absolutely fabulous move. There's another leg D. So D says you got to be a little bit careful. Yeah, other things can happen. But if you look at the weekly chart, there's a breakout to an all-time high in leg C. If you look at the monthly chart, it's a leg D. So we are in PHYS. That's the physical gold. It trades just the same as the gold contract. It's the Sprott physical gold. Leg E in the monthly chart, leg C in the weekly chart. And look at this. So we went long just after the low of the 15th at 19.63, the very next session. And we survived that big arch formation with the retest. And now what's happened is that the 9-period moving average is very strong over the 14, but the price is getting a little extended based on my Chapman wave notation to D. So I'm anticipating you've got the on-balance volume for the first time becoming rather overbought. But I don't see anything other than a pullback, so I'm anticipating it sometime very soon. You usually get little dogs chasing one another. It's the gold leads, and silver wakes up and says, hey, where's my gold? And it follows gold, and then it stalls, and then gold comes back, and then silver moves. So now I think silver's going to play a little bit of catch-up. But most importantly, I think for this week I had said, let's see how Monday and Tuesday go without getting too excited about anything. We've got our positions. We got stopped out of a couple of things that I had tight stops, but I just have to have stops for subscribers, even though I really like them. For instance, Uber has earnings coming out.
Yes.
We got Uber, and the very next day, Musk talks about his robocar taxis, etc.
Right.
So we got smacked down. It's still looking good. Look, the 9-period moving average is holding. That green line is holding beautifully, even though the price. So I don't know what's going to happen. We aren't in it right now. I'm upset because I want to get right back in, but we didn't do that. But you can see. So what I've done is I did all the notation for stocks that I like. Some of them we don't have. Some of them we are waiting to get. And I think this is a point where I'd say that during the first few days of this week, if the stocks that you have are holding really well, that's where the money's going.
Yes.
Because otherwise they're just failing.
That's right.
Excuse me. But there is a new sector. There are a couple of sectors that are just starting to wake up. And that's what I want for subscribers, is as these new sectors are starting to wake up, it's so nice if you can get a low, even if it's not the low, but at least a low, because when the price moves up, and then you get that vicissitude, you get that springing motion up and down, very often it doesn't go back to that low point. So you can, if you survive that, then you've got that whole upside. So this is a very interesting week coming up, week and a half, I'd say, in which positions that could possibly hold, even though there's going to be a really whippy 3 months, positions that can hold at least for a couple of months. And that's what we're kind of trying to look for right now.
Definitely. And Basil, it's unfortunate with Uber. I'm along Uber right now into earnings. At least on a fundamental basis, right? People are very worried about robo-taxi. We'll see if that materializes. But one thing I want to say... It
takes forever to materialize.
Forever. And I want to say as well, a stock that I'm in and I talk a lot about is NBIS or Nebius. They have their own kind of weird robo-taxi thing going on, just a small portion of the company. But they've actually made deals with Uber to deploy this technology if they so want to. So Uber has that kind of run up as well in that way to answer Tesla. But yes, I mean, this takes forever to allow cars just to drive themselves everywhere. Basil, thank you so much for joining us.